Hello everyone, I'm Karthik Shetty. I'm gonna give seminar on infrared plastic solar cell under the guidance of Sunanda CB. Before this, you have to know what is solar cell and why solar cell is used. Solar cell is nothing but it is called as photovoltaic cell, which converts light energy into direct electricity. Why solar cell is used? It's because of long-lasting source of energy. It's no maintenance, non-polluting. It's provide cost-effective power supplies for people under remote control area for the main from the main electricity grid. It's a silent source of electricity. It's renewable and sustainable power as means to reduce the global warming or working. How does solar cell work? Solar cell working is simple, easy. As when sunlight strikes the solar cell, the electrons in solar cell are ejected, which results in formation of holes. The vacancy left behind by escaping these electrons. If this happens in the electric field, the field will move electrons to the n type and hole will move to the p type layer. If we connect n type and p type layer to the metallic wire, and electrons will travel from n type to p type. By crossing this depletion zone and go through the external wire back of n type layer, this creates the flow of electricity in the solar cells. Next slide. Infrared solar cells using nanotechnology. Now the first point comes, what is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is nothing but it's about the building things atom by atom, molecule by molecule. Its nanotechnology is defined as the study of functional structures with dimension in the range of 1 to 100 nanometers. It's between 1 to 100 nanometers only. High nanotechnology in the solar cells. As, as conventional solar cells are less efficiency, as their efficiency is poor in cloudy days, to overcome these problems, a new technology called nanotechnology is developed. It's called as infrared plastic solar cells. This is the infrared plastic solar cells. As the infrared plastic solar cells, the plastic material uses nanotechnology and contains the first generation solar cells, which can harness the sun's invisible infrared rays. These nanoparticles are called as quantum dots, which are combined with polymer to make the plastic that can detect the energy in infrared rays or radiations. Working of infrared plastic solar cells. Actually, solar cells created is actually a hybrid type. It's comprised of tiny nanorods, which are dispersed in the organic polymer, that is plastic. A layer of only 200 nanometer thick is sandwiched between the electrodes and can produce at present about 0.7 volt. The heart of the solar cell is 200 nanometer thick film. The electrode layer and nano or nanorods polymer layers, which could be applied in the separate ports, it's making the production fairly easy. And next, nanorods are made up of reliable size out of cadmium selenide, a semiconducting material. These nanorods are these nanorods are manufactured in the breaker containing cadmium selenide, aiming for the rods of diameter 7 to absorb as much sunlight as possible. The length of nanorods may be approximately of 60 nanometers. This nanomet this nanorods are mixed with plastic semiconductor, which is called as P3HT, that is 3-hexatiopin, which is a transparent electrode and coated with the mixture. The aluminum coating acts as a back electrode. Nanorods, which act like a wire when they absorb a light of specific wavelength, as they generate the electron and electron hole, a vacancy in the crystal that moves around just like electrons. The electrons travel the length of the rod until it is elected by aluminum electrode. The hole is transferred to the plastic, which is called as hole carrier, and which is and and it is going to the electrode, thus generating the current. These are the advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are it is 30% more efficient when compared to the conventional solar cells. They are compact and more efficient. Plastic solar cell can be used for lower applications as they are feasible. Their efficiency is same even on the cloudy days. It is free of, there is no any pollutions there. Second, it is very costly related to shorter lifespan when continuously exposed to the sunlight. It requires high maintenance and constant monitoring. Applications, they are used in hydrogen powered car. Hydrogen car painted with a thin film could convert solar energy into electricity to continuously recharge the car's battery. And communication system, radio transceivers on mountain tops or telephone boxes, which can be solar powered, mounting the cell, chip coated in material, would use for in cell phones. Thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah. What is the
Hello?
difference between, yeah, Karthik Shetty? It's hearing.
Sir, ಹೇಳಿ.
What is the difference between nanotechnology and VLSI technology?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between nanotechnology and VLSI technology? VLSI, no, very large scale integration technology that you studied in your that is what operational amplifiers, that linear integrated circuits, right? Op amps
Sir.
and linear integrated circuits. There you studied. What is the difference between this nanotechnology and VLSI technology? Tell any one difference.
VSLA technology is it's a technology with more than means it is high logic gates are integrated, sir, in the single chip.
How much? 1 nano equal to how much?
Nano.
1 nano equal to how much, Karthik Shetty?
Sir.
Forgotten.
Sir.
1 nano equal to how much? 1 micro equal to?
Nano.
1 micro equal to 1 milli equal to 10 power minus 3. 1 micro equal to 10 power minus 6. 1 nano equal to how much?
9.
Huh?
1 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter.
Okay, Karthik Shetty, thank
Hello?
you. Yeah, it's hearing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Karthik Shetty, thank you.
Okay.
Manoj.
Hello.
Yeah, Manoj,
sir,
you can proceed, Manoj.
Okay, sir. Sir, it's visible, sir.
Yeah, is it visible? It is visible. You proceed.
Okay, sir. Hi, good afternoon, all. I'm here to give a presentation on smart grid technology for intelligent power use. Let us start with introduction. Most of the world relies on electricity system built around 50 years ago. These are insufficient. There is an estimated in 13 trillion investment required in energy infrastructure over the next 20 years. Low carbon, efficient, clean energy systems, smart grid is necessary. Let us now, what is smart grid? The grid refers to electrical grid, network of transmission lines, substation, transformers, and more that deliver electricity from the power plant to your home or business. A smart grid delivers electricity from suppliers to consumers using two-way digital technology to control appliances at consumer homes to save energy and reduces the cost and increase the reliability and transparency. Now we got what is smart grid. Now let us who are using smart grids: individual consumers, cooperative participation, and government regulations. So it will improve the efficiency and reliability. Next, we'll come to the now how smart grid is used. So faster communication between energy company and end consumers. Electricity is sent from energy company to distribution center, and then it distributed to final destination. And it allows the energy companies to track areas of high use, identify possible outage, and provide the proper service. Next, let us know the comparison between existing grid and smart grid. The operation mechanism of existing grid is electromechanical, whereas a smart grid is digital. The communication system of existing grid is one-way communication, whereas smart grid is a two-way communication. The generation system existing grid is centralized, whereas smart grid is distributed. In the existing grid, we have few sensors, but in the smart grid, sensors are throughout. The monitor system of existing grid is manual. In smart grid is self-monitoring. So coming to the smart grid components, one is smart meter, second one phasor measurement, and third one information transfer, and fourth one distributed generation. Now one of the major component is smart grid. It recognizes the details of electrical consumption and relay information to central monitoring station. And third one, it will replace the traditional meters. And fourth, the power outage notification and power quality monitoring. And fifth one is the time of day charges. And yeah, let us have a look on few advantages of smart grid. One is reduce the cost of blackouts, and second, helps to measure and reduce energy consumption and cost, carbon footprint, and open up with new opportunity for tech companies, meaning more job created. Okay, and some disadvantages of smart grid is a biggest concern, security and privacy. Some type of meter can be hacked, and gain of the control thousand, even millions of meters, increase the 60 per month. Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Manoj. Over.
Hello. Yes, sir.
What is the difference between smart meter and digital meter, Manoj?
Smart meter and digital meter, sir. So, digital meters are electronics and a digital display. So, smart meters add communication ability, sir.
Or otherwise, you tell me the difference between power grid and smart grid. What is the major difference between power grid and smart grid?
So, for smart grid, sir, it's a two-way communication, sir.
Okay.
Power grid is one-way communication, sir.
One-way communication means what? We can send only, we can send the power. What is two-way communication? Yeah, what is one-way and two-way communication?
Hello, sir?
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. So in smart grid, idea is simple, sir. So in the power grids, idea.
Okay, Manoj, thank you. Okay, next person. Okay, thank you, Manoj. Okay, close it, Manoj. Then
Okay, sir.
Supriya, you proceed, Supriya. Victoria
Okay,
is late.
Sir.
Supriya, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you proceed, Supriya.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Supriya from SEM Electrical Department. Today I'm giving presentation on my seminar. The title name is Impact of UHVDC on Performance of Power. These are the contents. Introduction, impact of the UHVDC on performance characteristics of power grid, application, advantages, conclusion. Then we'll see power grid. In this power grid has a high proportion wind energy resources and has a potential development of 93,330 megawatt with theoretical reserves. In power grid, the structural problems of power supply are prominent and proportions of thermal power and wind power is large. Power supply capacity of 100,000 volt. Power grid is very low, which makes the problem of battery power more serious. Analyzing the running state of 800 kilovolt DC and example power grid under various typical fault case, the research result have great significance for planning and operation power grid. Then we'll see what is UHVDC system. The system which uses the direct current for transmission of power, such type of system is called UHVDC, that is high voltage direct current system. The UHVDC system is less expensive and has minimum losses. It transmits the power between the unsynchronized AC system. UHVDC as an innovative solution for interconnections between separated power system. It is to avoid congestion and improve stability, and it is also provides the necessary features to avoid technical problems in the power system and also increase the transmission capacity. This is simple diagram of HVDC. When input AC, the rectifier it will convert AC, and this inverter it will convert DC to AC. This is simple diagram of UHVDC. Have taken my electromechanical and electromagnetic transient model of example for power grid. Electromagnetic transient model of the HVDC. The transmission power of the example UHVDC line is 5 millikilowatt. The rated voltage of DC line is 800 kilovolt. The rated current line is 6.25 kiloamps. Rectifier station, inverter station, and DC transmission line is constitute the main part of the DC transmission system. The DC model we'll see in the diagram. This is example for power grid, that is electromechanical and transient model of the power grid. We can see here first sending an input is AC. Then here we are in DC filter. Then we have connected here ground. Converter transformer and smoothing reactor, AC filter, DC filter, reactive power compensation equipment, etc. The bipolar operation is carried out with each pole using 12 pulse converter. The inverter side is controlled by constant turn of angle. When the triggering angle of the rectifier side reaches the minimum, the inverter side is converted to constant current control. These are the advantages of power grid. There is no transfer of fault energy from one AC system to another. If they are connected by DC tie line, the current carrying capacity of UHV-DC cable is considerably large due to reduced dielectric losses. The corona power loss and radio interference and less as compared to UHVAC. These are the applications of power grid. Applications of embedded UHVDC in power system transmission. High voltage direct current technology has been widely recognized advanced in power transmission. Classical HVDC has shown its advanced features in long distance bulk power delivery. This is the conclusion of that. After DC blocking occurs, the operating state of each components in the DC system charges. If the reactive power compensation equipment of the converter station cannot be timely removal, the DC blocking will result in excessive of reactive power in the line. The system frequency is beyond the scope of normal operating conditions. These are the references. Thank you.
Supriya,
Sir,
what is DC blocking? Why DC is blocked here? What is DC blocking? What is DC blocking, Supriya? See, in your slide, you mentioned that after DC
Reactive
blocking occurs,
operating state
the DC blocking will result in excess of the reactive power in the line. What is DC blocking?
If we block DC,
Hmm.
it will charge after.
If you block DC, it will charge. And what is reactive power compensation here? Reactive power compensation, no?
It will regulate the power means it will
Why the
improve
reactive
the
power is
efficiency
compensated here? What is the need for compensating the reactive power?
for controlling, sir. Current.
Controlling?
It will improve the efficiency. To control the current, sir. Excessive current.
Hmm. The excessive value of current can be controlled by compensating reactive power. It is correct. Current controlled can be done by compensating the reactive power. Is it correct, Supriya? What you're telling? Okay, Supriya. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then Victoria, you proceed, Victoria. Then you proceed, Victoria. I think you are the last person. You proceed.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria, and I will be giving a technical seminar on the impact of an offshore wind power on transient stability of the power system and a control strategy optimization. Mm, First, for the the offshore wind power represents the forefront commending of the wind power technology. As we all know, we are now tending towards the uh, I stopped my video because the this connection is not good. Um, so right now we are tending towards. Do I have to on the video, sir?
Yeah, on Victoria.
Sir, it's making it not work properly.
Now it is
Can I
clear.
restart? Can I restart?
Yeah, you proceed, Victoria.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria, and I'll be giving a technical seminar on impact of offshore wind power on financial stability and power system and control strategy optimization. Um, Wind power is now being promoted as a source as everybody is tending towards the renewable resource of energy. So offshore wind power in the wind power technology is the main forefront um, amongst them all. There are a lot of type of wind power. So the offshore wind power, that is the one using the offshore plants is the main is being put at the front line right now. But the interaction between a wind power set and the power system is very complex. No, especially nowadays, it's becoming even more complex because there is no clear specific failure behavior of the wind turbine. There has not been a clear standard about uh, what what turbine to be used for such and such this thing, and there is a lot of transient stability problem while connecting the power uh, generated from the offshore through the wind turbine when it has to be transferred to the power system, that is the grid, and then distributed. So in this study we are proposing to study the influence of reactive power control strategy of a generator called DFIG.
Victoria, make it fast, Victoria. 8 minutes time is the remaining time for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you make it fast.
So DFIG is a three-phase induction generator where both the rotor and stator winding are fed with a three-phase signal, and it is a multi-phase slip ring assembly that transfer power to the rotor. It consists of that, and typically it is used for as a wind power generator. Um, the mode of operation of the DFIG is going to be in this study we are using it at the low voltage low voltage ride through mode of operation. So how does the double fed induction generator interact with the power grid? So to analyze this, we need we need this. We like explain this with this equivalent circuit. So here, the dynamic characteristic of the power grid will be is represented by the interactive interaction between DFIG and power grid, and that will be analyzed on the sensitive analysis based on interaction. So in case of a weak grid connection, the rotor converter will be reduced. So how do I so my eyes are not working. How does
Victoria, 5 minutes more. Already 10 minutes over, Victoria. 5 minutes more. Make it fast.
How does the control strategy of a DFIG will influence the transient stability of a power system? The reactive power control strategy during a fault will influence the transient stability in a way that the power curve will be stretched by increasing as the reactive power increases during this any fault, and the more the reactive power will be, will be stretched. So the acceleration area will then reduce. This is very favorable for a transient power angle stability of the power. As for the active and reactive power during the influence of active and reactive power on voltage after the clearing been cleared, because the active power
Victoria, I think your connectivity is not good. Okay, the remaining time is only 2 minutes. So that is, thank you very much for a good presentation. Okay, you have done a very good presentation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Santosh Kumar Singh. Then Sneha,
Sir,
thank you.
sir.
Then Vivek Singh,
Thank you, sir.
thank you very much for your good
Thank you, sir.
presentation. Then Shubham Kumar Gupta, thank you. Then Santosh Kumar
Thank-
Singh, thank you very much. I think
Thank you, sir.
there is a poor connectivity for Victoria. Only
Yes, sir.
already she took some 15 minutes. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
one and all for
Thank
your
you, sir.
better presentation. So thank you very much. Can I disconnect now?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay, it is over for all. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bye, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll meet in the class.
Okay, sir.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Victoria,
Sir, there is
a problem in the
here is
connectivity,
not-
I think, for you. There is no connectivity, poor connectivity.
No. This is the only thing here. This is the
I think there
only
is a
thing.
problem from your side.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think there is a problem from your side. Time is
Yes,
over.
sir.
Victoria, actually, time is over. Okay.
But the presentation was not over, sir.
Huh?
The presentation was not over, sir.
Yeah, Victoria, it's hearing.
Hello?
It's not hearing, Victoria. Thank